Hello.
We finished reading Sword of Kaigen. Curtis has a beautiful copy of it. I'm getting one of those. It's supposed to be coming this summer. But we did it. We read it. Judging a book by its cover, this book is beautiful. All versions of this book are beautiful. That version of this book, the most beautiful.
This is Page and Wix exclusive edition, and I think you're right. All of the versions of this book are fantastic. Like there isn't like a bad looking version of this book anywhere. I mean, like this is the actual hardcover, which is crazy.
What is the back of that one of the page? Oh my gosh. Why does it look so good?
The back says, "Alone on the mountainside, a whispering blade caught the last rays of a dying sun. It gleamed once, pointed skyward as its first and only victim hit the snow. Then, its work done, the sword fell to the mist. The sun sank to the sea." Oh, it's signed.
That's crazy. We just now read this book, and you've had a signed copy of it this whole time.
The wheel has not been kind to this book.
This makes me want a Page and Wix subscription because that book is probably the most beautiful special edition
Do they have
I've
a
ever
sub?
seen. They do.
I think it's really exclusive, though. Like, you might have to be in the UK.
I'm looking at it now, and their past books I don't know that they. I don't know.
This wasn't part of a subscription.
I think they're only quarterly.
Which is honestly what we need because
November, January, May, March, July, September, November, January, March, May. Yeah, I think they're only like,
or not bi-monthly. Every other month, whatever that
yeah.
would be. Whatever those words are.
They have a wait list. Book and Kindle or book only.
This one came with a candle.
Do you have the candle still?
Mm-hmm. Somewhere.
I'm joining their wait list right now.
You think I got rid of that? Anyway, judging that book by its cover, 100 billion out of 10. 100 billion out of 10.
You want to know my position on the wait list?
It gives you a number?
I'm 595th.
Any minute now.
Insane. Anyways,
Insane work.
Beautiful book. The cover is gripping. Really have been wanting to read this book forever, and we just finally spun it. The wheel was kind and not kind to us this last year.
Yeah. I don't even know what else to say besides that. This was one of the first books on the wheel, one of the original ones that we put on there.
Yeah.
And so we only really spun this because we're killing the wheel right now, and that's just how it worked out. That's right, because then we got to read it finally.
And it did not disappoint. And I think it made it better that we waited so long.
It marinated.
It stewed.
It's like a fine wine.
So to dive right in, character development. You want me to go first?
No,
do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Character development, I felt like, so this story had, like, it followed the main, you could tell from the beginning the main character was not who, like, the main character we were following wasn't going to be the main character. There were just, like, clues. But they set everything up, those first couple of chapters, like, the groundwork for their big moment to be very substantial. Like, the son, I'm gonna butcher all these names, so I apologize. Mamoru.
That's how I was thinking. That's how I was pronouncing that too.
His whole driving force was to do this whispering blade, and it's all about the setup and everything he does, and his character development, and how, you know, he's just his father's kid, and then he's like, actually, I've got some complex emotions. Actually, the world isn't what it seems, and I'm becoming a different person. Okay, I've finally grown up. Now that I've reached that grown up, I will finally achieve Whispering Blade, but I'm going to die for it. Like, it's just all the characters I felt like went through something, even a lot of the side characters, something challenging that they had to overcome. Which I think was just well done. If I had to make a complaint, it would be that the father Takaru, I don't know if he in this book like developed enough for me to like forgive him type thing. Like you can see it was happening, but like at the end I'm still like, you're
That's
still
fair.
a dick.
I still hate you.
Yeah.
You still make me furious.
But yeah, I loved all of these characters, and our main character, I thought it was Misaki. Mitsuki. Loved her. I thought she was just fantastic. All of her, emotions and how she processed things. Like, I don't know. This is some next level writing.
This book makes me want to.
It's
read
also Misaki,
not
Mitsuki.
Excuse me.
Well, how dare you write notes? And I didn't write anything this time.
Yeah. Whoops. This book makes me want to read Blood Over Brighthaven because this book was incredible, and everybody talks about how good Blood Over Brighthaven is. And
they have a broken binding version.
But yeah, this book was amazing. The character development was incredible. There were so many characters. There was a really wide cast of characters, and we had a really complex range of emotion on a lot of characters. And I even approve of what happened with Takaru, the dad, even though I hated him because I hated him. I had a lot of complex emotions about the father, and he wasn't redeemed, and I don't know that he was supposed to be redeemed, but I was moved enough to still be angry at him.
And I think that's part of it too, because even Misaki was like, listen, I don't forgive you, but like I understand better now type thing. And I think that was more so part of it. Yeah, it's one of those things where all these characters went through so much, like I don't even know what to talk about because it's all an emotional impact for me, because that's how all these characters were developed. Were just things, man. Things.
Like I listed the cast of characters in my notes, and looking at the list of names, I have like feelings about each one. Like Setsuko, I have feelings about Setsuko, Hiyori, Dai, his teacher, the teacher's wife, his aunt and uncle.
Every character was written with purpose and with like there weren't any real static characters, I felt. Very, very, very few. I feel like everyone had a role to play in a even if it was a small part to be developed and changed. And I think that is difficult to do. But I felt like this was
I agree.
Point for me.
Point one. And done.
One and done. Originality and creativity, sir. How are you ranking this book out of 1?
Very creative, very unique, very original. The only thing I would say is that I had very slight hints of like Avatar, The Last Airbender. I was like, wait a second. Are all these people one element like they would be in Avatar? Which is like not really like a complaint. It was not at all like that. It was just a similarity. It was, but it's super unique. The world was very well done. This like vibe of being a futuristic-esque world, but yet our like main character is set in kind of like a really traditional
It almost seemed like the whole world was where we are now, and this island was just like set back years. Like they just never developed, and that was intentional by the government. But it was like our setting was so small, but we got like a little bit of a picture of everything around.
Yeah.
Super original, though. I thought it was a very unique way to tell a story. Having it be like the characters find out that they're old school, I guess, and they don't care. Like, this is the way type thing.
Yeah.
I like point.
A pointer?
Pointer.
I hardly know her.
Engaging storyline. How are you feeling on these?
Another easy point for me. I was interested the whole time. I have a couple of minor complaints, but I don't think they fall in engaging storyline.
I think I know what you're talking about. So my argument here would be, so I gave it a full point. Loved the story.
I give it a full point too.
It only took me a little bit to get into it at first because there were a lot of like Japanese sounding names with like either an honorific on it or like a like for mom and dad, there was like a different name depending on what
Kachan
was
and
calling him, and like San and Don at the end, like, and if your teacher had their own and stuff, so it just took a minute just to get used to it.
yeah,
But my actual not complaint, because I would almost put it in pacing, was the like climax of the book, like the big meat fight was in the second third of the book. So then you have a whole nother third left, and you're like, I don't know where this could possibly go. And stuff happens and it's good. And I really like the story and what happened, but it was just a different way. I haven't most books follow the same pattern, and this one didn't follow that pattern. So it almost felt like a
yeah,
pacing issue where I don't know if I would actually call it that. So for engaging storyline, it was easily a
yeah.
one.
I have minor complaints about those same things, but first the storyline, yeah, I was very engaged, very interested.
Yeah. Agreed.
The story and wrap up. This one is one of the areas I don't know what I wrote a point, and if I let's see if I talk myself out of this point. I put on this one that if I was going to dock any points, I would probably dock it here. The story of our main character. Maybe I'm talking about. Maybe I'm convincing myself out of it. The story that we got in this book was great and it wrapped up nicely, but it's also left like, sorry, wrapped up nicely is, I don't know that it was wrapped up nicely. It felt really open-ended. And I'm trying to decide if we got what we needed and I just want more because it was such a rich world, or if it was like it's tough because Mike, I had that same complaint that you had. And I was thinking if it falls into pacing or if it falls into story end and wrap up. And I think it falls into story end and wrap up because even though the climax happened at like 55, 60% of the book, I was still interested in everything that happened in the back half. So the pacing kept moving. But it's like the book should have ended at 55, 60%. And then the back like 40, 30% of the book just created more questions that we were not going to get answers to in this book. And so I really enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the family that was posed to us, but I think I'm giving it only a half point on. I did successfully talk myself out of it. I think I'm only giving it a half point on the story end because I don't know. It didn't wrap up the things that we needed to wrap up. I was going to start by saying the main family was wrapped up and it was like a pretty bow on the main family and that the world could go anywhere, but I don't even know that the main family was wrapped up.
I don't know if wrapped up is. This is the problem, I feel like, if we had to pick a problem with our rating system. Because this is technically a prequel, right? So 1 and 2, because it's a duology, I believe, were written before this book, and then we got this one. We haven't read 1 and 2. We've heard mixed reviews, but it's just Sword of Kaigen. You can read standalone. And it's a fantastic book, but it leads into the next book, into book 1. So I feel like it's open-ended because if you read 1 and 2 and then you read this, you'd be like, oh, that's how we got to where we are. This is how things were led up, and this is how this character was, blah, 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 blah. Well, we haven't read it, so maybe we just read it in the wrong order, but like having just read this, like if I just thought that this was the story, I would be a little disappointed with the ending just because we could have had, I feel like there was almost too open-ended. Like there was a lot of unanswered questions that we would probably get in book 1, but we didn't get it here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing some Googling, and I don't think that they're true. I don't think that they're true sequels to this. They're like a different. They're like a. It's like if it was like MCU, and this was the story of like the Black Panther, and then we got Iron Man movies, but it was like the Black Panther books were a prequel. Like we're not seeing any continuation of this story in future books. So it's tough because like there's no I don't think there's a true sequel to this. Rather, I think I don't know if she had ideas or I mean in a blog post she says the Sword of Kaigen will never have a direct sequel. And the universe that she wrote this about has been discontinued. So I don't know if.
So I'm gonna be weird here, and I'm gonna give it like 0.75, and that's because I feel like it was ambiguous enough to where that was kind of a little bit of the point to where okay, with at least this family and where they're headed, they rebuilt the foundation of their family type thing, and this is the direction they're heading, and you're just gonna assume that it's going well type thing. But there's also overarching big, huge world problems that I think we would need more of if they're not answered in the next book type thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I give, because I don't want to talk a whole half point of it, because I enjoyed even the ambiguity of the ending that we got to an extent. I just feel like there were some bigger questions we could have done.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving it the 0.75, which is a dumb number, but I can do whatever I want.
I'm giving a half point, and I think my struggle here is not that I didn't like how it ended, because I liked this book a lot. I think that this complaint is more that, like, I think my big complaint here is more how many questions were opened up after the big climax that didn't necessarily need to be opened up. Like, it was like just writing for fun to explore this world, which was really cool. But, like, I
think it was important, though, the things that they opened up, because then you have, like, that Misaki wasn't the only one who went through, like, this patriarchal problem with her husband type thing. And the whole culture changed because of the movement that she made, but it wouldn't make much of a difference if she was the only one having a problem type thing.
See, but I more question, like Robin showing back up in the end and talking about, like, his journey and like the interactions, I think, with the larger world and opening up those questions are the ones that make me wonder, like, why it was done, because we got a lot of big open questions to the world that will never be answered, but that were like perfect setup for something in the future that I don't think were necessary. Like her story and the family being developed, done well, explained really well, setting Misaki in the broader narrative of this bigger world where there's like this clash between, I mean, it's a huge parallel between what we have today, like traditional Eastern values versus like Western culture. That whole like traditional clash and placing her struggles into the larger narrative of this world, I think that was really valuable. But opening up like questions and directions of the military and where the government's going and what the government, like, we don't know anything about the government. We don't know at all what the government was doing.
Well, but we're reading this book through the lens of the characters and what they know. So they're on the island. Those are these characters. So they don't know anything either.
That's a good point. But
I'm not arguing you out of your point. I'm just saying to that.
It's okay. It's fine. We can disagree.
No, we can't.
You can be wrong.
Be on the same page.
Right. I'm just giving it a 0.5.
That's fine.
0.5 is not a 0.
That's true.
0.5 doesn't feel like a large deduction. It feels like a half a point deduction.
Well, world building and setting, I'm giving it a 1. I feel like our setting was we have an island and there's other stuff going on around the island, and we understand that the characters are learning that they're not just, they're in this little bubble in a very big sea, and they're just like, you know what, this is the way we do things, and we like it, except for if you're a woman, because they were having a tough time with it. But I felt like the world building with what we got from the powers, I felt like was pretty interesting. Especially the backstory where we got to see different cultures are outside of the Sword of Kaigen. I don't know. I feel like it was zoomed in, and it benefited the story being so zoomed in. I feel like if it was almost more broad, I wouldn't like the story as much, because we wouldn't get as much focus on.
Oh, I agree.
On the family, and this is not a small book.
No, it's a beefy boy. It's a big book. Yeah, the world building and setting are incredible. It was rich. It was vivid. The political landscape was intriguing. It was all.
There was a map.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that. But it was great. I mean, the world building we got was very intriguing. The setting was always like a mental picture. It was really vivid. The way that the mountain was described, like pairing the use of descriptive prose with that special edition cover is like, I need a movie. Like, just thinking about it and then seeing the special edition cover, I'm like, yeah, I need to go to like Switzerland. I need to go to like the mountains in Japan. I need to just like, this book feels like it's right. I feel like
this would be relatively easy to do as well. Like, even with like the powers that they have, it wouldn't be something that would need some crazy CGI or anything like that. I mean, you could do some cool stuff with it, but you wouldn't need to.
Yeah. It's very good. I gave that a point.
Make a movie.
Do it.
Let me see you do it. Pacing and structure. This is where I almost want to give my half point. Because I don't think, or I don't know if it's structure that I have an issue with. Maybe it's structure. They, the having the climax in the middle was unique, and it worked for the story because the whole back half was like the characters going through their emotional journey and changes and things like that. But then it almost kind of left you wanting more because most books and everything are written to have the climax at the end, so it's satisfying. I think that's where we're missing our satisfying end was there's no climax. It's in the middle. It already happened.
That's crazy. That's why I gave the story end a half point.
Yeah. It just in my brain it clicks more here. So maybe my story end is more of a 1, and then I lose my half point here.
Perhaps, potentially. See, I felt like it was a weird structural decision, to put the climax in the middle, and I had some minor complaints about pacing, but I think it was more like immersion breaking than anything because we had. It was clear that we were pivoting between this Mamoru and Mizaki. That they like one of them was going to be the main character. It's clear that Mizaki was like looking like the real main character. Mamoru was just like our initial introduction. But I don't know. We got this character, and he was a fun character, and his point of view was great. And then we no longer had this character, and it was a bit jarring, I think. And in the climax happening in the middle, I was like, so what's happening? So where are we going now?
It's weird to dock a point here, though, or half point, like I did, because I really liked it. Like, reading it, I enjoyed it. But, like, afterwards, I'm like, it makes the ending feel weird, but, like, in the middle of it while you're reading it doesn't feel weird.
It's crazy. It almost sounds like you're complaining about the ending.
Oh, my God.
I
feel like it's the structure that makes the ending bad, not the ending itself.
Okay, then knock the half point here. But
we end up having the same point. Oh my God. Dakota and I aren't friends anymore.
You're watching an RSQ breakup.
It's happening right now. A very, very, very minor disagreement.
But anyway, I did let this have a point because I won. I thought the structure was intentionally unique and not just bad. And we normally dock points when the structure is bad. And 2, I was interested. I was interested. Like, I wasn't bored. The pacing, there was a bit of an immersion, like a jarring immersion break, but it was intentional and it was done well. And I wasn't like, I'm bored now. So I didn't end up docking any points here, even though it's a good, like what you're saying is you have a good point. The complaint is kind of interwoven with the ending and the structure of the back half. But like I said,
you've convinced me to move my half point to the story end and not the structure, because it was intentional and it was. I almost don't want to say it was because it was done well, but it wasn't because the ending we weren't happy with. But that's the ending. I don't know. It's weird. It's basically the same thing.
It was a writing. I think it was that it was like it was a choice, and the execution was done well, but not necessarily stylistically my favorite. But the author had this intentional. They made this intentional decision, and they executed it how they wanted to execute it. And it wasn't like it was done poorly. It was just stylistically, we're as traditional fantasy readers, we're used to seeing the climax be at the end.
All right, you make a good point. You and your big head. Yeah, that one.
Large head. Anyways, the next category. The category to end all categories. What is it? What category is it?
This is the book right here.
This is
the master class in emotional impact. I mean, I'll let you start here. We're gonna have the same points, but we'll have you start with your.
I took very short notes for emotional impact. I put literally insane. All authors need to take notes. This is like, man, this is the kill. You know how Curtis always advocates kill your characters, kill people in your books. This is how you do it. You need to make your readers care about a character and then kill them. as much as it sucks, and I hate that as the reader, if you just kill people who are like peripheral that we're not invested in, it doesn't have emotional impact. But when you have a son, oldest brother, an heir to the family techniques and traditions, who's striving to be his best self, and you make it like our main point of view, and we're so invested, and then you kill them in a like brutal, bloody battle that is also like their growing up moment.
It was just so good. And then that on the killing of the characters too, like you did make us care about these characters, even these characters that some of them we didn't necessarily like. They were important to the story, and they got enough screen time and development to where you eventually did like them, or at least could appreciate their time on the screen. I feel like a lot of times they're like, oh, but I killed this important character because it was the brother of my main character, and it's like they just said that they had a brother. This means nothing to me.
Yeah.
But there were so many things, like not even just like, I mean, a lot of the deaths were the emotional impact, but a lot of what like Misaki went through, and her friend Setsuko. Yeah, and even like if you want to go as far as to say like Takaru, like he was like raised as like, this is the men of the house, this is what they do, no feelings, women are the worst, they're just there to bear children and watch the house. And like his whole world is shattered, and he has to like relearn how to be a person and everything. And that's an emotional journey as well. But then you have like, and this, trigger warning for those out there here too. There's some really heavy things in this book. Like we have last final warning for trigger warnings. There's like, it's not a graphic rape scene, but there's like rape that happens. And like, it's there in the scene. You don't like experience any of it, but like the heaviness of it is like there, and it's there for like 30% of the book until like the main character kills themselves, and it's like, damn, this is crazy. And it wasn't just like, oh, this happened and then blah 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 blah, and then they could like, you could see like the progression of the trauma through that last 30% of the book too, and the decisions they made and things. You're like, fuck, that was just insane. And it wasn't unnecessarily done, I feel like, either, where sometimes authors will put things in there for a shock factor. And I feel like this really fit the story and the world, because her whole dilemma then afterwards was she kept saying, oh my gosh, I'm ruined for my husband type thing. And that was just their culture on that island, was like, that was the mindset type thing, and how to navigate that. So I don't know. There's some like heavy bad emotion as well as like deaths and stuff like that, but it's all stuff that it's just written so well. And I feel like
this is the most emotionally moving book out of at least the last like 150 books I've read. Maybe even the most emotionally moving book I've ever read. I don't know that jog my memory if we've read a book that's more emotionally moving than this.
I was reading this at lunch at work, and I teared. This is the first book that has made me like tear a tear, cry a tear, and I couldn't tell you how long. It was absolutely insane going through all. And it's weird because it's like, it's written well, because one, we're white dudes. So the main character is like, wait a second. You know what I mean? We're
wait a minute.
Yeah, forgot about that. You're not white.
We're straight Western dudes.
Yeah. So we're missing the cultural aspect of that, at least like on a personal level, and we're not women who have been oppressed and going through this type thing. And that's a lot of what the character went through, but you can still like it translate off the page so well that anybody can read and feel this. And which is just crazy. It was so well written. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, you already wrote it. This is the PowerPoint. This is going to be like an easy, this is a bonus point. Legendary bonus point, because this book absolutely deserves it. And
I filmed the short form for this while I was waiting for you, and I said that I never ever say this because it feels like a lie every other time I would have said it, but this book like actually broke me. I don't ever say that because people say, "Wow, that book broke me," and then I read it, I'm like, it had some emotions in it, but like the deaths and the emotional depth of this book was insane. It was so moving.
Yeah, I just feel like I could keep rambling on like every single situation, and especially like I feel like you could view there's a point in this book for every single person, every different phase of their life that they could get something out of this. Like I feel like you, if you're not a parent and you read this book, you're gonna be moved, but you get like there's a whole nother level to it as a parent.
Oh yeah.
Like just absolutely like when she was like visiting Mamoru, like and where she found him after like he was still dead, but he was like out there, like found his body and stuff, and she was just like screaming at the world type thing. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Not fine.
Yeah,
I just
the way that I'll tee us into the next. So I gave this one a bonus point. I gave it 2 points for this category, but I'll segue us into our next category by saying that every single character had an impactful like emotional moment. I think that's what does this so well. We talk all the time about how emotional impact is so intrinsically tied to character development, and a lot of the time when we write emotional impact off or dock a point, it's because the characters weren't developed very well. Every single character in this had an a moving emotional moment. Like the second oldest brother is 5 and comes in and saves his mom and beheads one of the bad guys that's like attacking his mom, who's like choking his mom, and he beheads her. And he's like, "Did I do good, Mom? Did I do it?"
Yeah,
and it's like a warrior culture. So he just does what he's been raised to do from birth, and he gets out the sword and he does the thing, and he's like, "Did I do it, Mom?" And it's all the characters have moving emotional moments, and they all, to take us into our next category, they all explore very meaningful themes. There's tons of depth in each character. I mean, you have his teacher who communicates well with him and is trying to teach him how to be the best version of himself. And you have the sister-in-law who's trying to explain that you're more than just your values and you're more than just how the world sees you. And you have the father who's learning emotional depth and how to be more than just a leader, but how to be a father. Every single character has a very deep and meaningful theme.
Like, well, every character has, it almost feels like, did you watch Lost?
Mm-hmm.
Every character has their own theme for that too. And it's not just every character goes through like development. Every character literally has their own theme that they're driving throughout the whole show. And like for this book, every character had their own theme, but then there's also like the big overarching themes. It's like, hey, the government's here to help you, except no, it's not. It's here to, you know, further its own agendas, whatever those may be. And then just, you know, different things like tradition. Like at what point is tradition more, you know, hurting you and your people compared to like, are you doing it for just for tradition's sake, or are you just, you know, I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but
yeah, that whole like theme surrounding your purpose, and if your purpose is put on you by someone else, but it's still like the thing that you would do, is it still like a valid purpose? Like our main character struggles with that. They grow up in this culture that's like groomed by the government to be cannon fodder and to like fight and die for them. But Mamoru comes to realize like, wait, I'm a warrior. I'm still going to go fight and die for my mom and my brother and my like my family.
Yeah, this whole thing was this is still the right thing to do, whether they're lying to me or not. It's still the right thing to do. And that was his whole thing, and once he learned that, he was able to accomplish what he set out to accomplish, and then he just died.
Yeah, that was awful. Very sad. Main character comes into himself and dies.
This could almost, and I actually think I was reading your notes afterwards, I think that, you know, it could almost be another PowerPoint with the themes on this one.
Yeah, I could definitely give this one bonus points on themes too.
Yeah, and we did skip writing style and prose, but I feel like that's from everything that we've said here. It was just an easy point here. I mean, the writing style was, you know, unique in the structure that they took, but just the prose was, you know, on top of it, especially with all the different like cultures that she interwove, or not different cultures, but different
like perspectives and viewpoints and locations and characters.
Characters from like different, you know, parts of the same island that have different traditions and stuff, but all written like
It's
you
always
know.
extra impressive when you pull off a book of this magnitude and it doesn't feel like there's too much going on. Like, and that's one of the big things with other books that we've read where they try to do too much is you feel it, right? It's like there's so much going on here. You don't know that we got all the characters explored or all the locations explored, but not the case for this. This is
And
very
I feel
well.
like it's because the setting was so zoomed in. It's like you have all
Yeah.
this world building that's done in the periphery and like on the island, but it's about the island and the characters on the island. So we're not going to explore. We don't need to type thing. And I think that sets it apart.
I agree.
And then rereadability and lasting impact. I hate rereading books. I think at some point down the line, I would reread this, and not even just like, oh, I want more of this book type thing, which is how we use it sometimes. I would read this again, and lasting impact is just like a clear W for this whole
Same.
clear W,
which is crazy because that's one of our it's not a point we debate in much depth, but it's one of our like most debated points, right? It's like, like this is a weird one because we don't always reread books, and like Piranesi was like a good book, but the illusion's not going to be there if we read it again, right? But this book is, I would definitely read this again.
Yeah,
I think I will, right? Like 3, 4, 5 years, I'm definitely going to be like, man, I'm going to go back. It's one of those books where you're just like, I would go back to this just to sit in the world, just to be in the setting, in the characters' minds.
Yeah. Which is a bummer because we had looked up, the other series too. And just did not hear great things about it, which is kind of a bummer because like if this book is so good, and this one was written after, so maybe the writing style and just has been more honed in, and just you're a better writer as you go along, ideally, if you're doing it right, and which is a bummer because I want more of this.
It's true, I do too. It was just I want more, man. It was incredible.
So it was incredible. I'm going to be thinking about it for a while. And it sits pretty on the shelf. So every time I look at it, I'm like, wow, that messed me up.
Wow, look at that book. That broke my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that book that made me cry. Great.
I loved it. I recommend it to everybody. Yeah. So anyway, our go read this book. Easy recommendation.
It's one of the first bangers we had in a while to say. RSQ banger. Check it out.
Not only is a banger, we gave this one a PowerPoint. So this one we docked a half a point, so it's at a 10.5 out of 10. It deserves. I feel like it deserves more. Like I hated taking away a half a point. Like it clearly needed to, from just like what we talked about. But man, I just feel like I just wanted to be like, take all the points, just have them all.
Perfect book. Everything's done well. Needs all the points. Yeah, this is one of the ones on BookTok that is not overhyped. It is not overrated. This is an amazing book, and you need to go read it.
The only like if I had to come up with a like reason not to, it's just because like the trigger warning we talked about, right? Like I can see people not wanting to read something like that if they don't want to. But man, I feel like this is another one of those that if you don't read it, you're almost doing yourself a disservice. Like, oh, I don't read books that are popular on BookTok, blah, blah, blah. Well, first off, a lot of them are popular in BookTok because they're good. This is one of them. There are a lot of crappy ones out there. This one's fantastic. And you don't have to have the pretty version because the regular version also looks great.
It does.
It does. I wish I had
all the editions
of
this book look great.
But yeah, so RSQ recommended for show, 10.5 out of 10. I don't know what else to say about it.
Go read
I still
this
feel
book.
a little emotionally drained, like having read this, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's just it's one of those books that makes me look at other books that people rate 5 out of 5, and I'm like, what are you doing? Go and read this book and then look.
I know rating is subjective to people, but I feel like some people just do not rate right. They're just like, oh, I heard this book was good and I read it, so I'm just going to give it 5 stars. What do you mean? This book is buns.
Yeah,
Catabasis.
I'm I'm making a point of letting you say it because I feel like I spent so much time being the main Babylon Catabasis hater, but now that you've said it, yeah. I just don't understand how people say that's like one of their favorite books of last year, and then you read this book and it's like, this is a masterpiece. This book's incredible.
I don't know. It's if you read Catabasis and enjoyed it, and they're different styles of books, blah blah. Fine. And also, Catabasis could have just not been for us. Fine. There was clear problems with it, right? Go read a good book. Like this one. And we're just going to keep rambling at this point because it's just like, what else do you say? Go read this damn book. It's so good.
Have we said it already? Because if we haven't, go read the book. By the way, go read the book.
Do it.
But the next book that we're reading, we spun the wheel already, and we're reading.
We did spin the wheel. Hold, please.
Please hold.
Look at my butt.
Do.
All better now.
By Neil Shusterman, author of Scythe. And
he's actually written. I've read 3 of his series. I read Scythe.
Oh?
Hold, please. I've read the Skinjacker trilogy, and I've read the Unwind Dystology. Which I enjoyed really all of those. So excited to get into this one. This is a standalone that came out recently. I think this last year.
That one's been on the wheel for a while too. Like 6 months, maybe 5 months. It's
been a really, really long time.
It's not one of our early ads, but I think
2025.
Yeah, I think we added it sometime over the summer, maybe in the fall. So it's been on the wheel for a minute.
So excited to read it. And I was about to say we haven't read a standalone in a while, but we just read Sword of Kaigen. So I'm a liar.
That's crazy.
But anyway, thanks for watching. I'm excited to get into the next one. Please go read this book. If we could leave you with one thing, go read this book. It's just, you just have to. You have to.
It's just incredible.
It's no longer optional. It's mandatory.
If you've made it to this point in the video, if you've watched our review all the way through, you have to go read this book.
Thanks again. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. RSQ out.
RSQ out.